Hello everybody, my name is Asteroid. Today I'm going to be doing something different. It is to do some exploration actually, and this is combat exploration, and I do it in high-sec. And actually I use a particular ship to do it in, and that is the Onyx, and I'll explain why. So when you're doing combat exploration, what you do is you can go to these refuges and dens. You can even go to these hideaways, but I only do refuges and dens in these probe scanners. And then when you've completed these sites, then there's a small chance that they can lead to these DED escalations, and these DED escalations can be in high-sec and low-sec, but I usually run the ones in high-sec because you have to worry about other people going to gank you while you're doing it. But the thing is, when you complete these DED sites, then you can get good loot. And the thing is, the Guristas DED sites drop particularly good loot. So if we see here, if we go to there's two types. So the refuge site you see here, this is a bit of an easier one. The den is a bit of a harder one. I mean, both I have no problems with, but the refuge takes a little bit less time. And the refuge can lead to a 4 out of 10 DED site, and that can drop this C-type multi-spectrum shield hardener, the Pithum one. And this is really like an expensive item, and this is a really good thing that can drop just from these 4 out of 10s, and that's why I run Guristas ones, because the Guristas ones drop these types. Now if you do a den and you can get a 5 out of 10 DED site, and 5 out of 10 DED sites can possibly drop the B-type multi-spectrum shield hardener, and this is really good. You see it goes like for 500 mils, so that's really a benefit of running the Guristas ones, because you have a possibility of getting those multi-spectrum shield hardeners that sell for so much. And the reason I use the Onyx is because the Onyx has really good inherent resistances for Guristas. So I really like to actually use heavy interdictor cruisers for exploration. This might seem really strange, but the reason is because heavy interdiction cruisers in general, okay, not only the Onyx, also for example the Broadsword, have really good resistances of a specific type, and that's very important when you actually are fighting certain types of pirates. For example, I'm in Caldari space, and I also live in Caldari space, which is why I do this. I'm mainly based out from Jita, so Guristas is going to be a natural thing because Guristas pirates are always close around Jita. And Guristas NPCs mainly do kinetic damage. They also do a little bit of thermal, but mainly kinetic. So you can see here, if I just have all my modules off here, I have really good resistances in the kinetic and thermal department. So you can see already 76 resistances. That like some faction crews, for example, like Gila, or maybe get this after using many resistance modules. While me, everything turned off, I have 76% kinetic resistances. So it's really easy for me to tank the Guristas. So look here, if I turn these on, I've got a kinetic deflection amplifier and a multispectrum here. This is like crazy amounts of DPS being reduced. So if I boost 85 EHP per second from the seal booster, and I've got 90% kinetic resistances, assuming I'm taking all kinetic damage, it'll be about 850 DPS tank, and that's crazy. Obviously, there's a bit of there's a bit of thermal, but my thermal resistance is almost the same. So like 850 DPS they would have to do to get through my tank, and that's not even counting my passive EHP, so this is just my boost rate. So I don't even have to particularly have an expensive fit. The only expensive module I have is this Pithum C-type medium shield booster here. It only costs 50 mil. This Dreaded Guristas kinetic booster here, or resistance amplifier, costs only a few mil, so hardly anything. But the main thing is this module here. So this is really good because I don't have to spend much on it. The only thing that costs a lot is the ship hull. And another example is the Broadsword. The Broadsword is really good for Sancha exploration. And this is just a fit I come up with. I haven't really tested it. But the point is that, look here, you can achieve crazy amounts of resistances. So if you're fighting, for example, Sancha or Blood Raiders, this is really good because then you see here, the resistances are really high. Like it's really easy. Even if it's not like a crazy amount of HP per second, 72 with the shield booster here, but the resistance is just so damn high. So we'll be able to resist or tank like crazy. And this is important because remember I said before that you can get these like multi-spectrum shield hardeners. So you can get the C-type and B-type. The B-type is obviously the best one, and that is from the Guristas Den. The escalation of the Guristas Den, as I said before, is the 5 out of 10, and the 5 out of 10 can dish out quite a bit of damage. So that's why it's important to have a very good tank for the specific type of pirate you're going to fight against. So me personally, I have absolutely no problem just face tanking the 5 out of 10s. I have done 5 out of 10s in this exact Onyx fit, and I had absolutely no problems. Like my shields would just go down a little bit, go up, down a little bit, go up, down a little bit, go up. Like my resistance is just so high that there's absolutely no problem whatsoever, and that's why I really like it, because this ship is just so reliable. Also, a really nice thing about the Onyx is that it has really good range on its missiles, so I don't really have to burn into anything for me to shoot them. I'm using the Scourge Fury ones right now to do these anomalies. We'll just warp to one right now, and that's because these are the cheaper missiles. Because if I use the faction ones honestly are probably optimal, but the reason is noticed, since I'm grinding through a lot of these refuges and dens, that actually the pirates in these refuges and dens, they have really little HP. So even though the Furies will apply worse, it's not that big of a difference. And also the main thing is just these missiles are not cost efficient. So when you're grinding through many multiple refuges and dens, it can actually add up to the price of these missiles for what you use. So I'm just gonna warp to these, and a good way to find these is actually with the agency. You can use the agency to actually find cosmic anomalies. You can see here, just click here, like you can see systems that one jump away. So like this system here is one jump away. You can see that there's a Guristas refuge here. So this is a good way to find things. So what I would usually do is I would just pull a route that goes through space, and then I'll just jump to the next system and just go and see on my agency tab to see if there's any kind of interesting combat sites to go through. So we've got a Jackdaw over here, and a Jackdaw is pretty efficient at running these, and actually it'll probably be better than the Onyx because the lock time is better. And the problem with that is that it will be able to dish out damage faster than us and kill everything. But I've noticed actually that you can actually just stay here and the site and just apply a bit of damage to the enemy ships, and you can still potentially get those escalations, because those escalations are what I really want to get. Another thing here is that I have the course probe scanner, and that's I think something we can do. We can scan these signatures here, and we can do that to be able to see if there's maybe a DED site, because you can also find DED sites from the cosmic signatures, not only the escalations. There are two types, so you can either find them from escalation or you can find it in these cosmic signatures. So that's something you also want to do, guys. And I think maybe that Jackdaw went to one of these because he just warped away. I didn't expect him to just warp off like that. Or maybe this guy is actually doing the den. Maybe we should do that. But we've already started up this refuge, so let's just do this first. I also wanted to do that skilling spree, so you can see here I just finished the skilling spree event, because it seems to come back. For the recent days, there's been this event where they have these proving conduit things, you know, the new proving conduits, and these have it so the challenge is basically you just enter them and then you get the reward of skill points. But now the skilling spree seems to be back again. I remember before I did the skilling spree came back for like last week, and then for a few days it went away when this new abyssal proving conduit went away. It was like, oh, it's only been for the new skilling spree has only been here for a few days, and then it just suddenly goes away. But now seems to be back. I think basically what happened is that this proving conduit event that existed just was there just temporarily, just until the proving event is over, because it only lasted a few days, and I thought that was a bit unfortunate. I thought they were pretty fun actually, because it was a content that was able to be done without actually requiring to have other people. And I like the stuff that doesn't have to have other people with, because I don't exactly have the largest amount of friends in the game, so it's really nice to just be able to just grab your destroyer and go out and have some fun action in these abyssal arenas. Let's scan this one. So we've got a wormhole over here, not that great, but we would like to get something like a Guristas hallucinogen something waypoint or something like that. Let's see if this Jackdaw went to this Guristas den here. I've actually been waiting in the system because I wanted to just find a system to do some exploration stuff in, but then I logged out and this Guristas den was still here. It could be the same one as before, it could actually just be one that respawned, but I just remember seeing a den when I logged off, and then it seems to still have been having a den here. I'm not sure if it's the same one. Oh yeah, they're definitely this Jackdaw. Look, he just annihilated this den. It would have maybe been better for us to go to here, because there's always even if you just do some damage to the pirates, it seems like there's always a chance that you can get an escalation. It doesn't have to be the one destroying the last ship. So it would have probably been strategically better for us to go to this one, since he's so fast at doing this. He could just go and he would destroy this, have the chance of getting an escalation from the den, and then when it comes to the refuge, then he'll also have then we'll also get that, and he's following the exact path we're getting. Oh my god, why is look, he's even in a warp with me. He's at the same warp speed as me, I think, because he was going exactly the same speed as me. But I think he's instant aligning, because Jackdaws can actually instant align if it's possible for them to do it. But anyway, okay, let's grab when you warp, you just put your scanners out straight away, then you can actually scan mid-warp. That's a tip, guys, you want to do that. So I don't know if we'll find anything interesting today, because I have often done runs like this, not find anything. That's something I really do not particularly like about this kind of exploration in HiSec, because you can sometimes go without finding anything whatsoever. It can really disheartening, and then sometimes you can find really good stuff. Oh, we got a Gila as well. Yeah, Gilas don't mess around. They're also really good for these. But the good thing about the Onyx is that you don't have to travel, so the missiles will do everything for you. For the Gila, you'll have to wait a bit for the drones to approach their targets. Activate our missile guidance computer. Spread out the damage just to make it go a bit faster, because they hardly rep anything, and we can almost like one-shot these ships. Not one-shotting, but almost come close. You can also actually get these faction ships that spawn at the end of these anomalies. They're actually like these. In Guristas' case, it will be called Dread Guristas. In, for example, Blood Raiders, it will be called Dark Blood something. In the Sanchez, then it will be called the True Sanchez, and they can actually spawn at the end of one of these sites. But they've never seemed to drop anything really good. I remember back in the day when I used to live in Nullsec, then they could often spawn these really good, these faction ships, and they'll often drop really good implants, like these ones that go for many hundreds of millions. That was really nice. Like I remember I once got a high grade Asclepian, I think it was called. That was worth quite a pretty penny right there. But I've never really got anything particular from these refuges and dens at the end. Like the thing that I do get good stuff from it though is Asteroid Belts. You can get these Dread Guristas from Asteroid Belts, and that seems to be another way you could maybe get these faction stuff from just like random pirates. They don't seem to be that good when it comes to these anomalies, and I think it's because the ships that spawn, the faction ships that spawn from these anomalies, they're like mostly destroyers, sometimes even frigates, so they're quite small ships. So I think that's probably why they're not that good items they could give from there. Often it's like these ammunition or these Dread Guristas ammunition that is hardly worth anything. It's just a few of them as well. I hardly ever get any. I don't think I've ever got any particular faction module from them. The first faction module I ever got actually was in Caldari space, and it was from Guristas. How it happened was that I found a site on the overview, and I think this is a kind of like random anomaly that can exist, and it was called I think it was abandoned ruins, or just derelict ruins is what it was called. And they just spawn in a few waves of enemy ships, and then what happened was that I just killed all of them. Then after I'd killed all of them, a faction ship came in, and it was called a Dread Guristas Killer, and that guy dropped, I think it was a shield booster, and that was worth 70 mil. And I was like, when I just started, so it was like, whoa, so much. You can see what I'm doing now. I did a bit of fail. I scanned in the wrong location. Actually, no, it seems like I actually scanned almost in perfect location. What I'm doing is I'm warping to the next gate, so that as soon as I finish scanning here, then I can just warp straight away. You want to do that. So just keep warping all the time, so you're not spending time warping without doing anything. You want to maximize your time. We can also reload our ammunition as well, actually, just to get this sped up a little bit. Alright, let's see if we can get anything from here. To be honest, I think most of the stuff would have been picked clean because of that jackdaw, and I feel like that's also a problem with the Caldari space doing this kind of exploration, is it seems like there's a lot of a combat site, level 3 as well. That could actually be a good thing, because level 3 tends to give good combats. Like level 1 usually not that good as far as I know. So let's see if anything good comes from this. Zoom in on it just to get a better thing. But it seems like a lot of people do them, the exploration sites in Caldari space, specifically because of how good the drops can be. Guristas Vigil. Okay, let's see how that goes. Guristas Vigils are apparently one of the sites that can give actually really high DPS output on them, I've heard at least. And you'll see here, we'll be tanking like a boss. We'll have absolutely no issue whatsoever, because our Onyx is just tanking, is just so tanky, and it's just absolutely no problem whatsoever. But I have done a few of these before, the Vigils. I think I did like a Sancha Vigil or Blood Raider Vigil when I used a Broadsword a long time ago, and I had a bit of a problem tanking. Actually, no, it was not Broadsword, it was a Munin, because I was tested out the Munin at one point. And I had a bit of problems tanking because I didn't expect the DPS to be this high. But I have done Vigils on my Onyx before, and it worked out really well, really well. No problems tanking whatsoever. So we got the Jackdaws probably already here. Let's see if we can snag the loot quickly. I don't think we'll be able to, but we can try. I don't think he would have been able to, because I think there's a lot of stuff to kill in the Vigils, so I don't think he'll be able to complete the whole thing already. Let's see. Okay, we got a Gila. Okay, Gila. That's good, because he will have to have his drones attack the ship, so we'll probably be able to get it done quicker than him. And we use Rage as well, Fury, I mean, because the Fury will be good for taking out because in Vigils you tend to have, I think, bigger ships, so it will be good for that, case, because they won't have any issues tracking, so we'll just be doing more DPS. Just wreck these guys. Let's see if what kind of ship. He's not even got any. It doesn't seem like he's got even any kind of multi-spectrum, so I think maybe he's using a full passive tank, so there's not even got any like capacity usage, because I've seen that being done. But I prefer to always use the active tank. I think that it usually works a lot better and allows me to have lots of damage without having to look. I've got full damage and I'm already be tanking with absolutely no problem. Let's go to the next site. Ha ha ha. Oh, look! Imagine if we steal this room, that would be fun. I wonder if we'll do that. Let's go. Let's go. The good thing about another guy here is that it'll be fast. Look, he also has a recorder's drone, so that's another thing. That's why we also are faster than the Onyx, because we don't have to worry about that. Kidnapped. Okay, so we got an escalation. An escalation that we done. It didn't seem like there were any important kind of enemy ships to destroy at the end. I think maybe he had already taken it, or they just didn't spawn. But kidnapped is a kind of escalation you can also get. And let's see how far it is away. Okay, so it's quite far away. So we can do that next time. That's it for, I would say, for this little session of exploration. I can do this kidnapped escalation whenever I want, so there's no rush to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little discussion on why I explore in an Onyx, and just a little bit of an example of how it works and why it can be better than the Gila in some circumstances. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.